2,000 years ago, when a Roman engineer was working on a bridge, once the construction of the bridge was completed, that Roman engineer usually had to be the first one to stand under the bridge. And when all the construction scaffolding was moved, he hoped that he had done his job right. If he hadn't, he croaked. The bridge fell on him. And what's interesting is, to this day, there are Roman bridges and roads that we, 2,000 years later, can go visit. I guess that's the quality of work you'll put out when your nuts are on the line, right? Ironically, nowadays, we have bridges and roads built 100 years ago with modern technology that are already falling apart. I guess that's the difference in intentionality and consequences. The stakes, if you will, right? The stakes were much higher for the Roman engineer. Now, the reason why I share that, besides it just being a fun thought that lives rent-free in my head, is that we go through life, I feel like, and I know I did this for years, it seems like we go through life so unaware, unawake, right? Asleep, just on autopilot. And we approach nothing with intentionality, which to me is essentially living death. It's you're walking around in life, but you're dead. You're dead in your soul, in your spirit, in your heart. You're not really squeezing the juice out of life, right? You're not sinking your teeth into life. And so I share that story with you about the Roman engineers to invite you to consider maybe picking one thing in your life that you've been dreaming about, wanting to create, experience, realize, manifest, whatever it might be, and to treat it as your Roman bridge project and to see yourself as the Roman engineer working on it. Because at the end of the day, while we have a lot of different ideas about what is or isn't in the afterlife, the one thing that we all know for sure is that we do have this life. And to go through this life without intentionally approaching at least a few things that we dream about or want to create and experience, that to me has been living hell for the chapters in my life where I lived like that. And so, as corny as this reel might be, or cheesy as it might be, this is just your invitation to pick one thing. Think of it as your Roman bridge. See yourself as a Roman engineer and approach it with that same intentionality of your nuts on the line, because if you don't start being intentional and aware of your life, the very soul of your life, it is on the line.